What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P, and we're back here once again. You already know what it is when you see me in front of TV. One thing's for certain, three things are for sure. Number one is that the Motor City Cats are back at it. Indeed. Number two, we came to give you stats and not static. Indeed. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three, we want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Indeed. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple, and I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you right now. Three things. Smash like button, subscribe, share. Now, it doesn't matter in which order you've done those things. Once you've done those things, you've indeed kept your Lions news pragmatic. And also, sharing is caring. So when you've shared this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, your aunties, your nephews, your nieces, your nephews, your aunties, your sisters, your brothers, your mothers, your cousins, you name it. You name it. Then you have indeed cared about those people. All right. We got a lot to get to today, man. This thing just won't quit. You had to know it was coming. You had to know that there was going to be more coming on the back end of this entire situation. Now, I'll admit to you, I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details because as I was trying to take in the information this morning, I was sleepy, bro. I was in and out. I was in and out of consciousness because work late last night. Okay. So now, it's about the fallout. There wasn't just the Brian Branch fight. There was the Brian Branch fight. There was the Brian Branch suspension. There was the Brian Branch appeal of the suspension. And there was the upholding of the suspension, which we all knew was going to happen, right? So just to be clear on what my stance was, because when I put the video out, when I put the live out, when I was like, oh, so you're telling me there's a chance. Obviously, number one, if you didn't get it, that was a play on Dumb and Dumber. Okay. You know, so just if you didn't get that, that's what that was. The second part is what I said was that I believed that the suspension would be upheld because there was no based on what? Okay. Excuse me. How are you getting that suspension reversed? Based on what? What up, though, Robert Stevens? What up, though, Scott? Was that Shorts? What up, though, Will Murray? All right, so that's what I was saying because there was a few comments, and I'm just responding to this just to be sure that you knew. Based on what was this suspension going to be overturned? The video evidence was clear. He did the thing after the game, right? There was the block in the back. Now we're gonna get to that because I had a tweet ready to go, but that tweet has since been deleted, and I'll talk to you about what happened there. All right, so the only thing that I said is if the NFL wanted to admit wrongdoing, then they could overturn the suspension and change it to a really hefty fine, and then they would actually refund the money or just act like they got the fine and never get it. Okay, that was the only way that they would overturn the suspension is if they wanted to say, all right, look, we screwed y'all. We know it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs got to win. They couldn't go 2-4. I know this is not much solace, but we'll give you Brian Branch and let him continue to play on for the season. But we knew the NFL wasn't going to do that. So that was the only hypothetical situation where that would have happened. What up, though, Tactical Sport? All right. There won't be a fine on Juju Smith-Schuster. If there is, it'll be something small. I get why people are upset about that because he clearly retaliated, right? And they tell you there is the guy that retaliates that gets caught. Okay. Maybe the NFL felt that he was in his right to go after Brian Branch, chase him down, and pretty much start the brawl. Because if he had just done nothing, there wouldn't have been a brawl, right? If he had just took the slap in the face and didn't chase down Brian Branch in order to be ragdolled, in order to get a bloody nose, in order to lose that fight, in order to have people have to pull Brian Branch off of him, then there wouldn't have been a brawl. It would have just been Brian Branch slapped you in the face. Maybe they would have caught it. Maybe they wouldn't have. I'm pretty sure that they would have. They would have reviewed the film at the end of the game and said, "Oh, we need to fine or suspend that guy." And then everybody would be like, "What? What happened? Why did he get suspended or fined?" And then all the evidence, the video evidence would come out, and we'd be like, "Oh, okay. Didn't know he did that." Right? Because the camera wasn't initially on him at the broadcast angle when that happened. All we were watching people go through, and then next thing you know, the camera pans to a brawl that has ensued, and nobody knew what it was, and it very quickly came out as to what happened, and why. So it even before the end of the broadcast, we got the angle where we saw Brian Branch slap Juju Smith-Schuster in the face, and then Juju Smith-Schuster chase him down. All right. So the fallout of this is somebody, I think it's a show called Turning Point with Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick was narrating a video. He was the narrator over a video. And this video is the tweet that was deleted. DJ Reader reposted this video and he was like, this is some BS. He's since deleted the tweet. I believe it's because the video has subsequently been taken down. So I don't know if the media source is still available. But, if they took it from the original media source, like on their platform or whatever, then it wouldn't be available. But if you screen recorded it or if you download it in another way, then it's always going to be available, even though they took it down. So this show, Turning Point, with Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick, he narrates this video. This video, whether you want to call it a hit piece or whatever, it basically painted Brian Branch's game in a bad light. Not like, I don't think it was calling Brian Branch a bad guy or a bad person. I feel like you were just calling him a scrub. That's what I felt like he was doing, because you were pointing out all the stuff that happened. Look how he got blocked in the back. Look at this biatch. look at his MF. He got blocked in the back and didn't do ish. Didn't do a damn thing, right? It was they were just showing all the low lights. Oh, look, hey, Patrick Mahomes hit him with that juke. Then he hit him with that. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna let Patrick Mahomes hit you with that? Like, it was just, that was the tone of the video, right? Obviously, it was a little bit more professional than what I just did, but basically that was the tone of the video. Like, you buster, you scrub, you suck. And you 100% know how it came off. There is no apology that you could give to say, oh, that's not what we intended. At some point in time, right? If like, I've edited many videos in my day. Okay. Like, I'm a video editor, I'm a content creator, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web designer, I'm an app developer. I do all this stuff. When you are putting out content, you know what your content looks like. You know how your content is going to come across. If it is dealing with a controversial subject, you know what side of the subject you are on when you are making your video. When you are making your content, if you're pro this thing, if you're anti this thing, you know what your content says about this thing, right? If you're pro this thing and you make content which is in conjunction with your opinion, then you know your content is going to be pro this thing. If you are anti this thing and you make content in conjunction with your opinion on this thing, then you know your content is going to be anti this thing. If you are trying to make Brian Branch look horrible as far as not his character, but which was kind of it was a subliminal situation. You're like, yeah, he had to do what he did after the game because he couldn't do nothing on the field because he's trash. That's pretty much what you were doing subliminally. In the video, you were just saying he was trash, but subliminally, you are passing that message on that the reason that he is a thug, or the reason that he is a retaliator, or the reason that he's this, that, and the third thing is because he's not good enough on the field to do that. Now, Louis Riddick, shame on you, because you have been glazing the Lions forever, right? Since the resurgence of the Lions, Louis Riddick has been an ally, so to speak. Now it's F. Louis Riddick, and Louis Riddick, you're not welcome in Detroit. That I just hope you know that. But he's been an ally since the resurgence, since Brad and Dan got there, and all these things. He's been the one trumpeting all of it. So now he has this piece on there, and it's been deleted. And Pat McAfee had this whole thing about what happened with the piece and all this other stuff. This is crazy. Okay, this is crazy, and all it does is bolster the sentiment of Detroit versus everybody. Okay, that's all it does, because I don't think that this has ever happened to any other team, any other franchise, where the NFL and its constituents, whether it be NFL Films, whether it be Turning Point, and it wasn't necessarily NFL Films per se, it was this show Turning Point, which is, I think, produced by NFL Films, right? So it like the NFL had something to do with this in some capacity. For me, it's a bad look for the NFL. It's not just a bad look because it's the Detroit Lions. If you're doing this and you're allowing this to happen and you're disseminating this type of content on your platform or anything that is, because I think NFL, the Turning Point is an NFL Network show, or maybe it's an ESPN show because it's Louis Riddick, right? But when you're allowing this type of content and you're kind of, you have something to do with the dissemination of this content, it looks bad because it's all about protect the shield, right? It's all about protect the shield. And then now you're showing some sort of infighting within the shield. You're showing some sort of bias against the Ford family, the Lions. And if you were doing this for any franchise, it wouldn't make any sense. All you guys do is sit back and make billions and billions and billions of dollars together. There is no need for this. There is no need for you to assassinate a young man's character or anything that you were trying to do with this video. To make a video of lowlights, as well, basically, this is what led to Brian Branch crashing out and inciting a brawl, is ridiculous, right? So it's very, very ridiculous. All right, let me see some of y'all comments, because I know y'all are talking about this in the chat. Tactical Sport just got out the gym. I got your name right, Scott Shorts. Okay, cool. Oh, they don't plan on finding Smith. No, they don't. If they were going to, they would have done it already. In this case, he who retaliates got his ass kicked. Facts. The video is on Pride of Detroit. Okay, so it's still up there. All right. I don't blame Louis. That was a hit piece coming straight from the NFL. But once something is on the internet, it will be there forever. Facts. NFL is showing they are an entertainment business who doesn't care about their players. I would say so. Riddick fell on the sword for the NFL. He got his orders and followed them. This seems true. Hey, Don, I missed it. I do not have Twitter. Okay, let me see if I can pop the video up, because it's on Pride of Detroit. I don't really rock with Pride of Detroit. I mess with Ryan Matthews. That's pretty much the only one. Lisa says it now. You know why? Well, Twitter is a great place for information. Riddick was the mold of a dirty NFL player. He had his moments. What up, though, Ship? Gah! The NFL has had a bias against the Lions since they tried to take the Thanksgiving game from us. How far did that get? Did they ever like really seriously try to take it? I don't know. I thought there were just conversations. What up, though, Zach J? What up, though, Kurt Steele? All right, let me see if I can find this video. You said so. I'm proud of Detroit. All right. Wow. Okay. I don't know how I got Bride of Detroit. The P and the B are nowhere near each other. All right. Let's see if I can find it. NFL Louis Riddick issues statements. Lions offended by deleted branch video. Okay. So let me read this part. I don't know if the video is, it doesn't seem to be in this article. There are multiple videos within the article. All right. So anyway, we'll pop this up. We'll read this and we'll go through the whole situation. All right. So NFL Louis Riddick. This is from Pride of Detroit. Written by Eric Schlitt. Eric, I do rock with Eric Schlitt. Eric Schlitt's cool. So but I mean, when he came onto the scene, I was fully divested in Pride of Detroit. All right. The NFL and Louis Riddick backtrack following criticism over NFL Films' Brian Branch hit piece. On Thursday, NFL Films released its latest NFL Turning Point video as part of its online video series on ESPN. In an effort to promote the show, NFL Films posted a strange and frankly insulting video centered around recently suspended Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch. A few hours after posting the video, amidst backlash from Detroit fans, writers, NFL players, and more, NFL Films took their post down from their platforms. While NFL Films deleted their post, the internet never forgets, and the video quickly found its way back online. By Friday, the NFL Films video had made its rounds to different media outlets, eventually leading to NFL Films and Louis Riddick, the narrator of the video, offering up statements. Here's what the NFL had to say. I promise you, at some point, we're going to get to talk about what I think is going to happen in the game on Monday night. But this was the fallout from this entire situation. All right. NFL Films wants all of its shows to have a distinct voice and point of view. In the case of NFL Turning Point, that voice and point of view is Louis Riddick's. It's Louis. It's him. Guilty. That is guilty. I can't finish that. But if you know, you know. It's the hashtag. All right. That voice and point of view is Louis Riddick's. He spends time every week with the show's producers, watching each segment and going over the script before narrating them. That particular sequence felt different to NFL Films as part of a 9-minute breakdown of the Lions Chiefs game than it did as a standalone excerpt on social media. On X, it felt overly critical to Brian Branch, so it was taken down. And here's Riddick's response via Twitter. The Detroit Lions, let's see. Okay, wait. I gotta go. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. That is part of that, so I don't have to go to Twitter for that. I can stay on the article. All right. So he says the Detroit Lions organization is one that I have nothing but respect for. Ownership, head coach, general manager, and players. Fast forward to this week, the Turning Point episode that was voiced by me recently that covered the Chiefs-Lions game didn't come across the way it should have. The intent is to collaboratively, as a group, document the events of game, good and bad. There is never an intent to do a hit piece or anyone or any team. That being said, I can see how the short clip that was posted could be taken as an attempt to cast the Lions or Brian Branch in a calculated, unfavorable manner. I don't want to be a part of that. I will be sure to make certain that anything that has my name attached to it will never again leave room for it to be interpreted that way in the future. So the crazy thing is that the NFL is going, hey, this is Louis Riddick. He did this by himself. And there's the faint air of pushback in what he's saying. He said, hey, collaboratively as a group. Okay. Now, whoever is in that group and whoever is collaborating, they're all involved with the NFL. You feel me? So he's like, nah, bro, this ain't just me. This is what y'all told me to do. So it's very interesting how this is happening. Okay. So neither of these statements offers an apology, and both come across more as finger pointing than actual accountability. See, that's what I just said. The NFL statement appears to shift the blame to Riddick, despite acknowledging that their producers were involved in the creation process and are the ones responsible for editing, cutting, and posting the video on social media. Riddick's statement isn't much better, as it appears to try to shift the blame to the NFL Films editorial team. See, you following me, right? Meanwhile, the Lions media met with several Lions players on Friday, and their responses to the unfolding event varied from disappointment to anger. Here are a few of the responses published throughout the Detroit media. Lions reserve offensive tackle Dan Skipper via Dave Burkett of the Free Press. A smear campaign against BB from the Shield. Whoever pushed that should be ashamed. Whoever thought we should really highlight this should be ashamed, and Louis Riddick should certainly be ashamed. Skipper later added via Corey Woods of MLive, I just thought it was a pretty weak move. Obviously, they're protected by the Shield, so I can't speak too much into it. I might already have received a letter. Fine, we'll see. I'm going to try to avoid receiving a letter here in the future. Amik Robertson and Alex Anzalone via the Free Press. Robertson said, I feel like it was kind of messed up. Anzalone, standing near Robertson's locker, said, kind of? What you mean, kind of? Defensive tackle DJ Reader was equally as blunt, sharing his thoughts on ESPN via ESPN's Eric Woodyard. As a player, how can you trust the NFL Shield now? If y'all want to release this, and this is how you're shedding light on it, you've got to play for your organization. You trust them and the people you work, but as I guess it should be worked with. But as far as like the Shield people up there in New York, I can't trust them. I can't believe that they're truly going to have my back or they care about my safety or well-being. People who care about you don't do that. Yeah, it's getting spicy, baby. It's getting spicy, baby. So this is something that we probably should keep an eye on throughout the year. What will the NFL do to retaliate against the Detroit Lions now? Because you already know that the NFL is embarrassed because they thought that they could just do this because, oh, it's the Detroit Lions and nobody's going to say or do anything. And that's not the case. That's why they're backtracking. That's why they're scrambling. That's why they've got the PR campaign to try to do damage control to make themselves look, I don't know, somewhat innocent in this, because it's like, okay, yeah, it was Louis Riddick. It wasn't us. And Louis Riddick was like, no, the hell it wasn't. Y'all MFs ain't finna put me out, hang me out to dry. Hell no. It was you and your editing team. You the people that did this. Don't come talking to me about it. All right, let's see what y'all got. Robert Stevens, it's not at the bottom of that article. Unless it's like in their whole little. No, those are advertisements. All right. Of course, every game. If you use the Wayback Machine, you can find the video. Do y'all want me to find the video? Bigger story is Decker practiced twice this week. Yeah, we're gonna get to all that. Gonna get to all that. I don't really rock with Pod either, especially Chris. Ding, 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 ding. I didn't say nothing. It's on the screen. I didn't say it. I was especially disappointed with the whole reason that you didn't want Micah Parsons on the team when he was coming out in the draft because of the allegations. The allegations are alleged, and until they're proven, they're alleged. And because something happened to you in your life, I mean, I get it, but I don't know. Appreciate you, Mr. Detroit City. Sounds like Louis Riddick is saying he didn't edit this video, just did the voice. Facts. It was them over there. And both of them are like, you know, Iris Smith, they're throwing rocks and hiding their hands behind their backs. Facts. That's exactly what they've done. Burns, that video was a big F you to the Lions. They took it down, then said it didn't come out like it was meant to. No apology to Branch. Facts. But you know, there's a lot of people who are upset that there's no apology. As I said, as a content creator myself, that was deliberate. So if I do something deliberate and then I apologize, there's no reason. My apology is not genuine. It's not sincere. An apology is for stepping on someone's foot accidentally. An apology is for bumping into someone accidentally, right? An apology is for something that you did that was an accident. You edit videos and then you watch them before you put them out. You don't just edit the video and just put it out and not understand the context of the video. You're looking to see, did this come out the way I wanted it to come out? Right? And we've all done it. If you've edited videos, it's happened to all of us. That you edit a video and you're like, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so I'm not gonna put it out. So I don't really care about them not apologizing because it would not be sincere anyway. There was too much time that elapsed in producing this entire thing and putting it out for you to say, oh, that was an accident and we didn't know how it came off, so we apologize. I don't want your apology. You can keep it. Sounds like a repeat by the NFL of the Dan Skipper did not report slander after the refs rigged another play. They can't keep doing it. I mean, the more that they do it, the more negative pushback they're gonna get, and I don't know what it's gonna lead to, but at some point they're gonna have to stop doing it. You know, Louis Riddick is a bum, wannabe GM, been one for years. NFL attacks to discredit standard playbook. Facts. Let's go Lions. The more and more I think about this whole situation, the more the NFL seems like Vaught from The Boys. Hey, y'all know about Vaught. Hey, I haven't watched the latest episode of Gen V yet, so don't tell me nothing. All right. I'm not behind. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm caught up, but I just haven't watched the latest one that dropped. I think it dropped yesterday. When does it drop? Does it drop Friday? If it drops on Friday, then that means it dropped today for y'all. No, it has to be the same day. They're pointing at each other like the Spider-Man meme. Remember when the NFL sent the rules for reporting to every team? Yeah. I mean, you should have done that and not just sent it to the Lions. That would have been crazy. That would have been super crazy. All right. So, said I'm way behind on Gen V. I really haven't watched much during school. Yeah, I try to catch it every week because there's certain shows that I will forget that I'm watching, like Invincible. I missed entire season 3. I didn't even know there was a season 3. Like I watched season 2, and season 3 came out like I don't know. I was just busy and working, and I was like, where is, because my son was watching something from it, and I was like, when did he change his suit? When did his little brother get a suit? I'm like, what is this? I was like, is this a new season? And he's like, no. But obviously for him, it wasn't a new season because he knew that the season came out. So, and he had finished it already. So yeah, I haven't even touched it. Like I watched the first few minutes of the first episode, and then I got busy doing something else, and then once again, so I got to get back to it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the news as we have on tap here. Yes, Taylor Decker has practiced twice this week. Taylor Decker was again a limited participant in practice this week. Taylor Decker has said that he plans to play this game on Monday night versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another person who was back at practice today was one Terrion Arnold. Okay, now here's the thing. I don't know if Terrion Arnold is playing. I know he was at practice. Okay. I don't know if Terrion Arnold was playing. I just know he was at practice. If he plays, he will be the only starter that the Detroit Lions have in the secondary. Let's see. Okay. I just want to make sure that we don't have any Kerby Joseph updates. Okay. So we don't have any Kerby Joseph updates. Obviously, we just know that Kerby Joseph's not practicing. Now, this has been a standard practice for Kerby Joseph. Kerby Joseph has been not practicing. Kerby Joseph has been on the he has been on the injury report with the knee injury. We saw how it affected him against the Chiefs, and we saw him get that Toradol shot and come right back in and start laying the wood pause. We saw all of those things happen, but we don't know from week to week, from day to day, how Kerby Joseph is going to be doing with that knee. And it's not something that unless you have the proper amount of rest, like an off season, I don't think it's something that's going to calm down. So we're always going to be dealing with this throughout the season. Some days will be better than others. Some days will be worse than others. And that's pretty much just how it's going to be with Kerby Joseph. I don't know if you hold him out in this game, but the bye week is coming. Do you hold him out in this game and then give him the bye week? Or do you play him this game, then give him the bye week and hold him out the next game? I don't know. Are you trying to get 2 weeks consecutively for him not to play is my question. So if Kerby Joseph plays, then you will have one safety. And if Terrion Arnold plays, you will have one corner who are starters. Okay. If neither of them plays, you will have 0 starting safety members. Starting secondary members available for Monday night against Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. I do believe that Mike Evans will be back. So it's not that they're going to have 0 people like we thought, right? It seems as though Mike Evans is going to be back. Now, the thing that we can say about Mike Evans is he is older. It is a hamstring injury. So he could be on a pitch count, right? He could be on a snap count. It doesn't have to, you may see him in certain spots, certain packages, obviously in the red zone. I mean, he's a big body dude. Was he 6'4", 230 or something like that? He's in the mold of a Calvin Johnson, I would say, as far as just a bigger body receiver. Nowhere near Calvin Johnson's speed and ability and, just sheer. Mike Evans doesn't look like a transformer. Okay, we would never call Mike Evans Megatron. But the point is, Mike Evans could be available out there for them. Let's see what you guys got. I find this to be no joke. Goodell has been doing this to us since he got here. I think the difference now is that the Lions are worth money because they're winning and our fans travel and so on and so forth. And at some point in time, somebody's going to sit Roger Goodell down and be like, yeah, you got to stop doing this. You have to stop doing it because it's now affecting our bottom line. For example, if the Lions fans had said, you know what, since the NFL is going to screw us like this, the next away game, we're not going. Right? We're not going to travel. I'm not going to get on a plane. I'm not going to go and see this, this watered down product. People, the thing is, people don't really understand the power of their money collectively. And that's a crazy thing that I don't understand why people don't understand that. But it's also, you may understand that, but you also have to get over the being out for yourself, because that's what happens. Most people are out for themselves and themselves alone, and they don't really care about the greater good, for the vast, community, society, or whatever. So that's why, when someone strikes, when you have an industry that strikes, you have people that cross the picket line. And those people that cross the picket line make it worse for everyone who's striking, because they're like, yeah, okay, well, we can get people to work in your place. Right? So if the Detroit Lions, right, fans say we're going to boycott Philly or whatever, okay, and the NFL lost millions of dollars from that game, they might straighten up. It's only going to take a quick one. It ain't got to be a long protracted absence. Only a quick one, and they'll be like, okay, message received. Because we're going to get into something else that the NFL is doing, it seems, against the Lions. And the second here. Yes, he did. He practiced. Don't remind me about Invincible. I haven't even seen season 2. Well, damn, you way behind. Don Wick, nothing else. I was watching the second movie yesterday in my car. Kirby will be game day. Yeah, he's a game time decision every time. Play but limited. Yeah, that is that Ragnar mentality, but you want to make sure that whatever it is, it doesn't become that bad. Then you have to retire. Don't worry, Davin. That's the best joke of the night. Calvin Johnson never submitted 10 straight 1,000 seasons straight. Nope. Listen, Calvin Johnson is Calvin Johnson. You know what I mean? Also, Calvin Johnson did get injured one of those seasons. He only play like 9-10 seasons. So I'm just talking about the physical nature. You would never say that Mike Evans is Calvin Johnson. All right. So here's the other thing that the NFL is now doing. And of course, they had to include the Detroit Lions. It's as if it's as if the NFL is going to war with the Detroit Lions. Okay. And I don't know if that's a great move. Again, publicly, it looks really bad. Okay. Publicly, it looks really bad. And it's not going to do anything outside of Detroit until the fans at large start to look at the NFL and start to look at this smear campaign and this war with one of its constituents. And then something happens to them. Right? When the Raiders played the Chiefs this weekend, and some crazy flag happens or some crazy no call happens, the Raiders and the fans of the Raiders may start to look at it in a different way, because the Raiders have always been one of those teams, again, that was kind of anti-NFL. They didn't fit the image. Just win, baby, the black hole, all that stuff. They just didn't fit it. And that's why the Detroit versus everybody and the Bad Boys Pistons and the Raiders had a relationship, okay, back in the 80s. Because Al Davis wasn't about that, right? Al Davis wasn't about that snuggle and cuddle, with the NFL commissioner. So now, if you look at something that happens and you go, man, all that stuff that happened to the Lions after the fix was in with the Chiefs, maybe that's going to start happening to us. So little by little, it'll be fan base by fan base, team by team, right? But I don't expect a full-on revolt against the Shield, because the people that own the teams are they're part of the Shield. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But I mean, you don't want too many scandals that are very public facing, and this one is. So we'll have to keep our eye on it. All right. So the NFL sent out a memo. And it's warning defenders about punch-out plays using Jack Campbell as an example. Okay, so here is this is from Pro Football Talk. Okay, it says NFL memo warns defenders about punch-out plays using Jack Campbell as an example. So the Lions aren't happy with the NFL's officiating office. Head coach Dan Campbell said after last week's game that the league office made the call to throw a flag on the Lions' fourth down trick play that negated a touchdown. Now, remember, we had said you have to keep an eye on the NFL right now because Dan Campbell peeled back the veil, right? He shared some information that they didn't want out there. Okay? Now, this is very public. This is the thing that doesn't make sense. It is super duper public. They're not doing things behind closed doors. They may think they're doing things behind closed doors, but they're not that stupid to believe that anything that you send to teams is public knowledge, because the team's beat reporters will report on it. The team media will put it out. The PR departments, so on and so forth. All of this stuff will be disseminated amongst the teams and the team members and the general public because of social media and everything that we have. So now, Dan Campbell said what he said. He said, yes, the call did come in from New York. Okay, cool. Now another thing and another thing aimed at the Lions in rapid succession. And it doesn't make sense, right? That's why I said we've got to keep an eye on this thing because it could go left very quickly. All right. So it said made the call for the flag on the fourth down trick play that negated a touchdown. If that truly was the case, it was the right call, but the wrong procedure. Okay. Then the league suspended defensive back Brian Branch for a game after his post-game fight with Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, according to Lions defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard, the league has sent out the Jack Campbell memo. The league, according to Shepard, used the Lions linebacker as the example of too aggressively, in the league's view, trying to punch out the ball. Look at Jack. I mean, they just sent out a memo and the tape. Shepard said via Corey Woods of MLive. I mean, the way Jack is doing it, it's violent, it's aggressive, and it's the way we play. We won't make excuses, and I hope it continues to show up an uptick as we progress in the season. So Coach Shep is like, do more of it, Jack. I don't give a damn about what the NFL is saying. Do more of it. Okay, and we'll get to Jack Campbell's response in a second. So Shepard added that the memo emphasized ensuring defenders are punching the ball and not the opposition. Whatever that means, Shepard said. Campbell said it is now a personal foul if a defender accidentally punches the player while trying to punch out the ball. The memo, as Lions reporters have noted, used video of Campbell and not of 49ers defensive lineman Alfred Collins, who punched Kyren Williams in the helmet, turning his head before punching out the ball on the 1 yard line. The 49ers recovered the fumble and won the game. Right. So we used Campbell. Again, y'all keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. All right. Campbell is the fifth in the NFL with two forced fumbles and has a fumble recovery. Lions defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson is tied with Bills defender Joey Bosa in forced fumbles with 4. Does that mean they're first? I don't know. All right, now let's get to what Jack Campbell said about this. Let me get your comments first before I get to Jack Campbell's take. I heard late November for Davin. That's what I heard, bro. Like I said, NFC Championship and Super Bowl. Just keep them on. Just keep them for those two, because you only give us 2 games. Yeah, Calvin physically couldn't make it in the league like Mike. Mike has. What is this Calvin Johnson slander? Oh God. All right, Calvin Johnson is an engineer who played ball. And he played it at a very high level. He's in NFL. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame. First ballot. Karen 24, you saw it on IG. Okay. That was a good one, Justin fan. Yeah, okay. Lisa wants me to find the video. Okay, I'll find the video. Dan doesn't know what he's doing. This is Ron Winarski. Yeah, I'm not reading. So down the Bears are just meat and rugs. Ron is getting killed. DJ Reader said it. Louis Riddick will never get an interview with a Detroit Lions player ever again. That's pretty much facts. That's not, you don't do that. The Chiefs and Bears can. I got to screen y'all messages before I read them. I really don't understand how the NFL can make a call and violate one of their own rules and think it's all good, because it's the NFL and it's their own rules, so they feel like they can break them. And just in case you can't read the room, nobody in this room cares about the Bears until it's time to play the Bears. That's week 18. Facts. Give Davenport a break. He hurt his ankle. And that's what I mean. Give him a break, right? A real long break in which he does not need to come back to play until the last 2 possible games of the season. So you crap on Megatron? I don't understand that one. I love Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time, period. But I'm not going to crap on Jahmyr Gibbs. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to do that. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I love Jahvid Best, but I knew it wasn't going to last with Jahvid Best. He actually didn't sign for the league minimum. Yeah, his contract is very incentive laden, but it's $4.75 million. That he didn't sign for vet minimum. Blake is something. All right, so this is what Jack Campbell had to say. Jack Campbell on NFL's Punch Out crackdown. I'm going to keep punching. This is also from Pro Football Talk. You know, as the wheels continue to spin. This came out an hour ago. It says Lions linebacker Jack Campbell said he will not change the way he plays. The NFL highlighted Campbell in a memo. It's sent to teams about punch outs, warning defenders to avoid punching the ball carrier when trying to punch the ball out. I don't know how many people have played in the NFL game, but when you're going full speed and you're trying to get the ball out, punch outs are hard to come by. So I don't really care, Campbell said Friday via Will Birchfield of 97.1 The Ticket. I'm going to keep punching, and if I miss it, F it, screw it. Campbell said the NFL intends to call personal fouls on punch-outs that miss the football and instead hit the ball carrier. Bro, so that is crazy now. So now they're making up a rule in the middle of the season. So I'll probably have 150 personal fouls by the end of the year. So that'll be fun, Campbell said. The punch out was made popular by former defensive back Charles Tillman with his peanut punch, helping him to a ridiculous 44 forced fumbles in 13 NFL seasons. The Lions have forced 7 fumbles this season, one off the NFL lead. Campbell had a strip sack of Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson and a punch out against Bengals running back Chase Brown. They just got mad at me for punching somebody, Campbell said of the NFL, highlighting him in the memo. But I mean, you got pads on. If anything, it hurt my hand more than the other guy. I told you we got to keep an eye on it, bro, because the NFL is now doing exactly what they did. Speaking of Calvin Johnson, changing rules on what a catch is just to cover themselves. Now they're changing rules on punch outs, and I'm pretty sure that it will not be called on anybody except for the Detroit Lions. I don't think that the new punch out rule that was just invented in the middle of the season via a memo, not during the off season with during the league meetings and people voting on it. None of that. They just made a memo and made a new rule. Now it's 15 yards. How many times is that going to hurt us? How many times are we going to be victimized by this league? Right? So, hey, Eminem, where you at, bro? Because I'm sure if Eminem were to speak out about this stuff, he's the most influential Detroit Lions fan there is. We might see some things calm down. It's got to be big money people making big money moves for anything really to move the needle and have the NFL stop on this witch hunt, because now that's what it looks like. Right? You got exposed for changing a play, which is not allowed. So now you're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna put a hit piece out on Brian Branch. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do that in the third, this, that, and the third thing. All right, speaking of Brian Branch, see if I can find this video now. Let's see if good old Reddit has the video. No, that's ESPN.com, so they don't have the video. And of course, the conversation has gone left like all Reddit conversations do. So when I click on a link, it has nothing to do with that. Okay. All right, let me get to your comments, and then I'll try to find this video. Anybody in the chat? What was the results of the Bears Lions game this season? I don't remember. We hung what 52 on them. Gonna be two-hand touch soon. Hey, I mean they are really like working this flag thing. So maybe. Flag football making billions a year. Yeah, wouldn't put it past him. I know we need Kirby, but if they hold him out, then he should be better after the bye week. I don't think it's that type of rest that he needs. I think he needs like a full offseason for whatever this is. So you can't even hit. They want the defensive players to just stand and let them run. I mean, just make it 7-on-7 at this point. 7-on-7 with tackling. What about drop kick? Can we do those? No, that's stupid. It will also be called against whoever the Chiefs play. Okay. You are correct. My bad. I thought it would just be the Lions. So it's gonna be called against the Raiders this weekend. So if you miss a punch out, you hit their arm, which doesn't hurt, or you hit their pads, which hurts you more. Yeah. I can't call it, bro. I don't know. I don't know what we got to do. Let me see if I can find this video. I just want the video. Oh my god. So in the Chiefs Reddit, it says NFL films cooks roast slays Brian Branch. Oh my god. I don't understand the Chiefs fans here. Okay.
They trying to bully me out there. Shouldn't have did it. It was a long game for Lions safety Brian Branch.
Here's the video. All right.
I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play and reps don't catch it. Like they trying to bully me out there. Shouldn't have did it. It was a long game for Lions safety Brian Branch, number 32. He got burned by Kelsey's basketball move. Got showed up by Mahomes. Mahomes with his fourth rushing touchdown of the season. Got juked by Xavier Worthy.
Worthy, with the feet like a featherweight boxer, gets to the outside.
And took a shot from Juju Smith-Schuster. I got locked in the back illegally. It was front of the ref. The ref didn't do anything. I could have got hurt off of that, but I still shouldn't have done that. So the turning point led to Branch's boiling point in a 1-game suspension. I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play and refs don't catch it.
All right, so that was the video. As we said before, there was nothing good about that video. It was it was just all the lowlights of the game, and then it's like, and then it led to a 1-game suspension. I was like, okay, So how you thought that was anything but what it was is amazing to me, and how the NFL films editors and how Louis Riddick are now pointing fingers at each other as if neither one of them was responsible for that. It's crazy. But that's what they do. That is what they do. Kirby needs a repair. I don't know. I would like to know what the injury is first. We know it's in his knee. Is it a meniscus? Is it, what is he dealing with? Is it just inflammation? Because I'm dealing with like a similar, I forget what the injury is called, but it's like a usage injury. So it's all about pain tolerance. You know what I mean? So that could be it. No structural damage, but it's gonna get inflamed and it's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to run and push off and explode off your knee, it's gonna hurt. I can tell you 100% from experience, if that's the same thing. How's the weather today out there today, Don? Another mid-80s day here, sunshine open and close. So it was like, I think mid-70s yesterday. Then last night, it went back down to like the 50s. So I had this little tiny, like, or very thin, like Michigan windbreaker. I was like, man, I should have brought my hoodie, bro. So I just gotta keep extra clothes in the trunk, bro. That's all. That's all I gotta do. The game is a hitting game. That's how it's designed. Facts. Let's you can tell Lewis never been in a fight. I mean, he might have been. He's an NFL player. We just need to wear Juju bloody nose shirts for the rest of the season in the stands. I'm pretty sure someone is gonna make that a shirt, just like you with the double birds, the BB shirt. The funny thing about that video is that it proves the point that there should have been a flag on Kermit and Smith, and yet there were no flags for the entire game. That's facts. That is facts. Not Karen 24 said not the Wayback Machine. All right, so let's get into this one quickly. As far as the injury report, the Detroit Lions are looking to get back Aleem McNeil. Okay, Aleem McNeil said he's 100%. He's playing. Okay, they're looking to get back possibly Terrion Arnold. We don't know until we see the final injury report on this one. We don't know about Kirby. Okay, so I'll do it in two ways. I'll assume that both of them are playing or neither of them is playing. Taylor Decker. Okay, we're looking to get him back. Obviously, we're not going to have Brian Branch because of suspension. We've got all types of different cornerbacks outside of Amik Robertson. So that ain't great. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have they're looking to get back Mike Evans. They're still missing everybody else: Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Bucky. I was about to call him Bucky Brooks, Bucky Irvin. So they're missing significant weapons on the offensive side. I think that bodes well for the Lions, because if we are depleted, if we have none of our secondary starters, then all we have to worry about is Mike Evans. So we can double Mike Evans and tell everybody else they got to beat us one-on-one. Now, I don't know what Kendall Fuller has left in the tank. I don't know what Trey Flowers has in the tank. I don't know the other guys that we signed, but I know that Trey Flowers and Kendall Fuller both have NFL experience. So they'll be able to call on their experience and to be crafty vets, hopefully. Okay. So I would say that's a point, that's a leg up for the Lions. Another thing that I would say is a leg up for the Lions is you got to go quick game. I don't think now we don't have a hellified pass rush, but we do have Aiden Hutchinson over there. That's going to speed up your clock. You're not going to be able to sit back there, pat the ball for 4 seconds, and then uncork a deep ball to Mike Evans. If we keep Baker Mayfield in the pocket and they just got to go quick game for the entire game, I think we win that game. On offense, the Lions have to run the football. We saw what happened last year when they came in week 2 and beat us. Now, again, there was some referee controversy, and we have to look for that now, unfortunately, because the memo has been sent out. So we have to look for any crazy calls and things of that nature. If the NFL is dumb enough to make this beef really public, then there's going to be some iffy calls. Okay. And as I said, that happened last season as well. So we need to establish the run. We don't want Jared Goff coming out throwing the ball 50 times. But again, Vita Vea is there. Remember, now the Lions have said that they are going to be focused on balancing out the offense with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to balance out the carries. They probably went and talked to Scotty Montgomery and figured out how he did it last year. The thing that I said about Jahmyr Gibbs last week not being used properly is going to crop up very big in this game. Why do I say that? Because Vita Vea is in the middle of this defense. Vita Vea is in the middle of this defense. You're not lining up running power. Okay? You're not, listen. Counter, you've got to get Jahmyr Gibbs in space. You got to get him on the edge. You've got to get him. You've got to do it, bro. I'm still waiting for Jahmyr Gibbs to have his Javid Best moment. Right? That's not going to happen this game because the Javid Best moment is 80 yards up the gut on Monday Night Football.
Good morning, cooking with.
We're not doing that. Okay? I got to change that damn. I had to change the time of that alarm. It was during daylight savings time. So now we got to change it. So I don't think that's happening this game. I'm just study Bijan Robinson, bro. Study how he gets the ball in space. Extension of the run game, short passes. Right? Get Jahmyr out in the flat, get him one-on-one with a corner. Get him one-on-one with a linebacker. Get him one-on-one with the safety and let him make the move. Because we already know he's got a collection of ankles. Most of those ankles belong to the Vikings. We know he's got a collection of ankles in his trophy case. If you can get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball in space, he's more of a weapon for you than running him between the tackles. And I know you want to say that they can do the same thing, and that's great, but let's not be stubborn about it. Jahmyr Gibbs is a weapon. You've proven that he can be a bell cow back. Great. I don't care about that. Get him in space. You've proven he can run between the tackles. Get him in space. Okay, if we can do these things, then I believe that we win this game. I don't want to say convincingly because we already know Todd Bowles is a phenomenal defensive coach. This game is going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy game. And they're 5-1 and we're 4-2. But my prediction is that we get off the schneid, the one-game schneid, and we don't have a losing streak, just as we haven't had one in 3 years. And both of these teams walk out of Ford Field 5-2. That's my prediction for the game. As I told you, there's probably not going to be another game this season where I pick the Lions to lose. But again, that's why we talk about it every week, because circumstances change. People are hurt, people are unavailable, new people are available, so on and so forth. And this happens on both sides of the football. So, yeah, I think the Lions do get the dub. 24-21. Yeah, that'll be my score prediction. 24-21. I don't know if the Lions walk it off, but I'm just going to say 24-21. I'm not picking in the 30s until I see an evolution of this offense. This is a good defensive team. And whenever we play a good defensive team, until I see the evolution of this offense, until I see Johnny Moe not call back-to-back freaking smoke screens out to the side trying to stretch somebody out, and everything is unblocked, until I can see, that stuff get out of the offense, until I can see J-Mo running more than clear out routes, I'm not going to pick this team to score 30 points on offense against a good defensive team. I'm just not going to. I know it's weird to complain about an offense where you're like, oh, they score 35 points per game. Do they though? I'm just saying. There's holes in this offense which are maddening and glaring. And if you fix those holes, you don't go into Kansas City and score 17 points. You just don't. Right? You could have got yourself 2 more touchdowns. The game would have been 31-30. You would have won. That's all I'm saying. Regardless of the refs, regardless of anything, if that offense was humming the way that it should, if we were using everyone to their strengths the way that they should, right? I know Jahmyr Gibbs is an all-around running back. I'm not saying he can't run between the tackles, but, man, if you get the guy out in space, because our offensive line isn't what it was last year. And for us to try to act like it is crazy. It's not. Jahmyr Gibbs is not going to average 6.2 yards a carry for the season like he did last year behind this offensive line until everyone is fully gelled and fully mature. So we'll see what Taylor Decker does for the running game, now that he's going to be playing in this game. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's get to your comments. Not going to plug the boss's merch. Dude, those blankets are the best. I don't even know where to get them. So but yeah, you can plug them. But the penalty was not reviewable by New York. The penalty was not reviewable by New York. That's why they said it was the right call. Maybe. Okay, so it's debatable. The debate is, was Jared Goff ever under center? That's the debate. If you want to say that because he was standing in a way that made you believe in the beginning that he was going to take a snap, and that basically makes him under center, I don't know that. I know he was close to the center. Did he ever bend over and put his hands underneath? I don't think so. So obviously, if that's the case, if he didn't establish himself as a quarterback by going under center, then it would have been a moot point. It wouldn't have been even called. So if you were going to run that play, you probably should have run it from the shotgun with Jared Goff never approaching the center at all. But the problem was not whatever the play was and how it was executed. The problem was that it was called in from New York, which is not allowed. So I agree with you there. Baker will target Cade Otton heavily. Yeah, and so we better hope that Jack Campbell can get his coverage on. Funny, Hutch is leading in punch outs. Yes. But those are more so strip sacks. So it's a very different way. You know what I mean? That you pretty much coming over the top. You're never coming up like this, or you know what I mean? So much for incentives. That's right. Remember, I said I want him to get every single one of his every penny of every dollar. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. McNeil gives us another leg up, being that the Bucks O line is banged up as well. And I think that's why they're gonna have to go quick game. And as long as our linebackers can flow to the ball, then we should be okay with that. I don't know what's happening with the safeties. Again, we don't know if Kirby is playing or if it's going to be two backup safeties, which would be terrible. I think we all did. I expect the NFL will do a mostly clean ref game. The NFL isn't stupid enough to do it again this week. They will let all this die down. Then they will act. They seem to be stupid enough. They just seem to be stupid enough because, as I said, all this stuff is happening in succession. Oh, we're going to send out a memo using Jack Campbell. Well, why use Jack Campbell when you could have used the dude from the 49ers who punched Kyron Williams in the head? Why not use him? You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I think they are stupid enough to make it happen. Both Riddick and the NFL are responsible for that video. Facts. Saying 38-30, but hoping 57-17. Hold on. I'm sure that's gone. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. That's odd. Okay, cool. All right. Lions winning. I figured. Riddick is the kind of dude who is a top 2% listener of Bad Bunnies on Spotify. Why is taunting being flagged all over the league except for Mahoney and the Chiefs? Because we know why. Because Mahomes is the golden boy. Yeah, but the holes in our offense is in the schemes, not the players. That's on Johnny Moe. Back-to-back screenplays is crazy. Yeah, that's why I'm saying until I see those holes fixed scheme-wise, not the players, because the scheme is what causes our guys to be used in the wrong way, right? We've got the guys. We've got JMO running clear out routes all the time instead of running crossers and slants to try to get him the football instead of just using him as a decoy all the time. It makes no sense. So that's why I'm saying once I see that stuff get fixed, then I'll be like, okay, cool. You know, on to the next one. Just like Dan Campbell says about the Lions, Tampa has next man up players as well. Yeah, that's why I picked it close, 24-21. I don't think it'll be a blowout, So the only thing that Goff did was walk up to the line and touch the center on his left hip. The NFL needs to define what under center is. So this will be a Calvin Johnson thing now. Did he complete the process of going under center? Did he go under center as he went to the ground? Was he eligible to take the snap? No, it's an illegal snap. Yeah, it's crazy. What up, though, D-Dubs? So the Za'Darius thing, I don't know if he was put on reserve, retired by the Eagles. They still control his rights. All right, Robert Stevens. We'll catch you next time. He'll come out of retirement to come back to Detroit. He found a home and culture here in the D. P.S. Salute Brian Branch, real bad boy, Lions. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's able to do that at this point. Russ done us over against the Chiefs. Yes, they did. Our record would be 11-6, I reckon, and we sneak into the playoffs. I hope not. I think I picked 13-4. I still think we can go 14-3. I don't think that, especially now that our schedule is not as tough as we thought it would be. I do think we had going into the bye. I think I had 5-2. No, I might have had 5-1 or 6-1. I don't know, but I still think we can go 14-3, 13-4. I don't see. We got to play the Packers again. Again, we've got to play the Commanders, who's not a team that anybody should fear. If you're fearing the Washington Commanders, you should stop. They lost to the Bears. They lost to the Bears the same way that we lost to the Commanders. They shot themselves in the foot with the turnovers. I just, are the Eagles scary anymore with all that turmoil? I mean, does it reach a boiling point by the time you get to the Lions, or do they fix it? Who knows? But I'm not afraid of the Eagles. After sacking Lamar Jackson 7 times, I'm not afraid of Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is not even the passer that Lamar Jackson is. He's not the runner, nor is he the passer. So he is a Timu Lamar Jackson. So I'm not worried about him at all. Should I get BB32 tattooed across my right knuckle so people know what's up? Hey, I don't advocate for you tattooing your body. That's the permanent type situation. So you'll never get that advice from me. We ain't getting that, bro. 12-5 at best. I'll take that with all our players fit. Then a 15-2 with our whole defense clip. I don't see 5 losses. Who are we losing to? That's the thing. I'm struggling to find losses. We've got to play the Minnesota Vikings twice. The Minnesota Vikings have Carson Wentz. They have a problem at QB. Whether it's going to be Carson Wentz or whether it's going to be JJ McCarthy, I don't think they're good enough to beat us. And also, their defense isn't what it was last year. Brian Flores seems to be doing some different things, and it's not working. He was just super duper blitz heavy. Now he seems to be kind of trying to diversify his portfolio. Maybe he's looking for a head coaching job and he wants people to know that he can do more than blitz, but it's not working out too well. Their defense ain't looking great. I watch every game. The Bears are the Bears. Caleb Williams is still going to be Caleb Williams. I mean, who knows? That's in December and at Soldier Field. I don't know. Anything could happen. I don't think that we lose to the Packers again, especially not at home. And like I said, we have the Commanders. If you're afraid of the Commanders, I don't know why you are. We've got the Eagles. We don't know what the Eagles are going to be. We've got the Giants. Jackson Dart is a cute story. Cam Sketterbo is a cute story, all of that. But I'm not afraid of the Giants. I'm afraid of their defensive line, though. Their front seven. That's yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I don't see 5 losses in this situation. I don't see us losing 3 more games down the stretch. I really don't. Now, if we lose to the Bucks, all bets are off. We could go 11-6 at that point, because then we're losing the people that I thought we would beat. 4 characters fits each finger perfect. Yes, the Eagles fear factor is gone. Yeah, the Eagles control his right until what would be the end of the contract he was on, so that would be this year. If he decided to come back, we would have to trade for him from the Eagles. So that's wouldn't be a big trade. Maybe a 6th or 7th rounder. So we could do that. Juju knows gonna look like Michael Jackson's after next game we play them. All right. Mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag. Six. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right. What y'all got on the mailbag tip? That's crazy. 6th or 7th rounders. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that retired. And now you have the opportunity to get something from him for him because he came back. Yeah, 6th or 7th round. He's got to come out of retirement first. Mailbag. Would you rather have Brian Branch swing on you or Jalen Carter spit at you? Have to choose one. See, now I'm gonna choose Jalen Carter spit at you because it doesn't mean that he will hit you. Yes. So I will say Jalen Carter spit at you. And it also didn't say that he has to spit in your face. So that's another thing. You know? He looked like his breath smelled like hot Cheetos. I'm not gonna lie. He does. He does. Yeah. Any more mailbag questions? Get them in. If Burns is still here, I know he had some questions last time. But he got them in late as I was signing off. All right. Mailbag from Tactical Sport. He says, if TA comes back and plays this game, is he the 1 or the 2? I'm guessing he'd be the 1. I mean, especially if Mike Evans is playing, I'd rather have him on Mike Evans than Amik. I mean, I understand Amik is scrappy and he's very good, but Mike Evans is 6'4". Amik is 5'9". So I'd rather have a 6-foot corner in Terrion Arnold on Mike Evans. Right? I'd rather have Amik on somebody like Tez Johnson. I think Amik could bully him a little bit. You know what I mean? New here. What's the mailbag questions? It's any question that you want to ask at the end of the show, pretty much. That's all. It can pertain to the game. It can pertain to the Lions. It can pertain to anything. Food choices. It's a free flowing situation. My show is free flowing anyway. You know what I mean? I'm not like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about pizza. Let's get back to football, shall we? Let's get back to football. We got to talk about football. I know your name is Chef, but we got to talk about football. Nobody wants to talk about food. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. Mailbag, pancakes, French toast, waffles, start, bench, cut. Ooh. We're going to cut French toast. That's easy. Shoot. We're going to start pancakes. I'm tell you why. And we're going to bench waffles. We start pancakes because y'all know IHOP. Brother, y'all got cheesecake pancakes. It's all types of pancakes that you can have. So pancakes gonna be my starter because they're very, very versatile, right? Very, very versatile. Mailbag, do we have a spy against Baker? We should. We should, and the reason is he's mobile, and we have a problem. At least we had a problem last season. I don't know if we'll have the same problem, but we had a problem with our rush lane integrity. And that's why he gashed us for 35 yards up the middle. So I would say, yeah, we should have a spy just in case. Anything, Burns. You're right. Can't trust the French. LO. Frenchies, we have the toasts. The thumbnail is fire, by the way. Appreciate you. Which thumbnail? Because I did both of them, but which thumbnail? Are you talking about the LNU thumbnail or the Motor City Cats thumbnail? I mean, are they pretty much both? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, so the Motor City Cats thumbnail is the Fallout suit. Brian Branch in the Fallout suit. Caleb Williams paints his thumbnails. He probably paints his toenails too. The Brian Branch one. Both of them are Brian Branch. Does it say Fallout 32 or does it say all about the fight in the Fallout like that? Because Fallout 32 is on my channel and all about the fight and the Fallout and all that stuff with the mushroom cloud in the back. That is on LNU. Sparkly orange. Mailbag, is it just me or does Johnny Mo seem like he doesn't understand how to use Gibbs? He doesn't understand how to use Gibbs. He doesn't understand how to use JMO. So right now, my problem with Scott Linehan was that he would take Javid Best and run him into the middle of the we'd have any kind of scat back, and I've always called it like the Ferrari in the woods syndrome. Don't drive your Ferrari through the woods. Drive a Land Cruiser through the woods. If you have a Ferrari, drive it, down the highway, down the expressway. Put them on the Autobahn. Don't drive it through the woods. So I feel like Johnny Mo's got a little bit of that going on. And I feel like you're too busy trying to prove that Jahmyr Gibbs can do both. We know he can, and no one is doubting that. Cool. Now use him correctly. Fallout 32. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I like that one too. Don't drive a Ferrari at all. Sell it. I mean, if you bought it, you're going to drive it. If somebody gave it to you, sell it. Yeah, I got that one. You can significantly increase your tax bracket if you sell that thing. So, sell it, get you a house or invest. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I would do. That's my my financial advice. All right. So we know it's Friday. We like to hang out a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead. If y'all have any more mailbag questions, let me know. If not, so we can drive it in FL in Australia, but not in the D. I mean, if you drove it in Australia, you wouldn't be like, it would be so frustrating for you to drive a Ferrari out here. The speed limits are the lowest I've ever seen. They are terrible. The speed limits here are terrible. Bro, you could be on an expressway. They want you to drive 80 kilometers per hour. What is 80 kilometers per hour? It's about 40 miles per hour, maybe 50 on the expressway. Brother, what are we doing? What are we freaking doing? And then we'll have the nerve to have cameras to make sure that you drive 80. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm ready for Bucks. I swear I ain't scared of them. I can't repeat that word. Roughhouse bully ball. They want 0 parts of that, believe. Off camera, that, I partake, but on camera, I can't say it. Do they have all sorts of cameras on their roads and intersections like Big Brother watching? I don't think they have too many like CCTV traffic cams, but they probably do have the ability to watch you at any intersection that has cameras. You know what I mean? Like if it has speed cameras, then it probably has the CCT camera. Like in their downtown area, they call it the CBD, the Central Business District. They have those cameras on the streets. Probably just because it's a huge cluster of people all the time. Because someone could commit a crime in the city or the CBD and just slip through the cracks because there's just so many people there all the time. Have you got around to the new Ghost of Yotai yet? I haven't even. I gotta finish the first one. I haven't. Like I said, I played that game one time, Ghost of Tsushima, and for about 15 minutes and just never picked it up again. I don't know why. I like samurai games and stuff, but no, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I think the next game that I purchase is gonna be Black Ops 7, but I'm very reluctant and I hope they fix it. Cause I'm gonna tell you, I don't like it. Like from the beta that I played, I didn't like it. Brian Branch should stay aggressive. He should. Put a CCTV on Ray. Oh, Rashid Rice. I am old enough to remember when the Bucks were in our division. Why they were, I have no idea. Yeah, in the NFC Central. I don't know. It's just like in hockey, how the Red Wings are in the Western Conference. It's like, how does that work? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Kirby should stay aggressive. It's jealousy. Kirby needs to stay healthy. Have you listened to JID new album? No. I'm not, I'm not up on any new music, bro. I just I work so much and do so much stuff. Like we just talked about being behind on TV shows. I make time for this. I make time to do this. I have to try to make time for myself to like play a video game or something so I could just, relax. Cause I basically work 7 days a week. So it's not it doesn't give me time to do anything. Brian Branch training out there with you and some kangaroos or what this week? That would be cool. Have Brian Branch in my living room be like, yo, we got a special guest. Hey, you don't want to throw hands with a kangaroo. That's definitely not something you want to do. Again, someone said that earlier. I don't know if it's a meniscus tear or something like that, but like I said, there is a injury that it looks like he might have. I think it's called tendinosis or something like that. But yeah, I had the same thing in my knee, in my right knee, and You know, once you when you're doing the regular walking around and stuff, you're good. But once you start trying to be athletic, that joint hurt like a mug. You know what, Mr. Detroit City? I used to be a poet. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of y'all know that, I think, but some of y'all don't know that. But no, I don't enjoy long walks. The Red Wings were in the Western Conference. They are in the they were in the Western Conference. And that's the thing. Like, how did you explain that? That's why they're in the Eastern Conference, because the NHL was like, this is stupid. This is stupid. Yes, the injuries are bad, very bad. Nas or Jay-Z? Ooh. Can I say both? I mean, I feel like it depends. I don't think. I think Nas has more meaningful content, if that makes sense. I think Jay-Z is better at the braggadocious stuff. Right? I would say like Nas is more conscious and Jay-Z is more commercial. Does it make sense? I'm just saying. Mel B, since you're on LNU, have you reached out to Herman Moore yet? I did a show with Herman back when I first got on LNU. But to be honest with you, bro, I forget to reach out to people. Like, I'm really bad at keeping in touch with people. So yeah, that's like just like the doc. You know how he's on crunch time like every week. I be forgetting to reach out to him. You know, if your messages, your phone number, your whatever is not like directly in my face, if I don't come across it on a daily basis, then I'm really bad at because I just it's like out of sight, out of mind, kind of. It sounds bad, but I don't do it on purpose. That's just the way that I've always been. Mayo or Miracle Whip? Mayo, bro. Come on now. Nas all day. It's a verse about to happen between No Limit and CMB, aka Cash Money. Ooh. Cash Money, bro. We gotta go Cash Money. That's not No Limit, because but No Limit had some people, but it was never like so like No Limit has Snoop, but for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just Cash Money was sustained and they had people. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, bet. Y'all want to see? Okay, y'all want to see one of my poems? I'll play it for you if you want. Tendinitis, not tendinitis. No, it's not tendinitis. That's not what I'm thinking. It's another thing. No Limit for you. I just like No Limit had people that couldn't rap. Like Silk the Shocker couldn't rap, bro. Silk the Shocker's mortal enemy was the beat. Like the beat be going this way. Silk is like, nah, bro, I'm over here with it. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, Mystical was my dude. Mystical was my dude. Yeah. So it's like, what did he say? He was like, shout out my dog. We've been it since we was 5. Now he's gone. Now he's forgotten. He ain't alive. I'm like, what are you doing? So like, what are you doing? Mailbag, how underrated do you think Exhibit was? Well, after the Pimp My Ride series, he was probably pretty underrated as a rapper. Bought it like Master P. All right. I'll show y'all one of my pieces and then I gotta go. All right, y'all ready? Yeah, I heard how to rock. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Those street corner pharmacies don't bother me. Cooking up that crack, serving that black, death, caramelizing those apples, crystallizing that. But at least it's not my kitchen. Robin Hood on the level that Hollywood would be in contention, terrorizing the scene, mad scientists splicing the genes with killing machines. But at least it's not my dimension. Combine these positions with Columbine vision. What's out of mind condition leads to out of body renditions, a suicidal homicide mission. But at least it's not my decision. And it's not my problem, not my solution, not my blood, so it's not my ablution, not my business, not my institution. It's not my crime, so it's not my execution. You know it's not my world. These are not my people. They are not my equals. This is not my power. This is not my evil. This is not my taste. They are not my steeples. This is not my realm, so it's not my upheaval. No matter the hood you reside in or would you confide in, when the evils oblige men, on what will you rely then? What will you give back to combat the chaos? Will you find solace in hoping that they stay lost? Or will you turn to your left and tell them that's not right? Tell them put down that knife. Tell them stop that fight. Tell them it's not all white. Tell them it's not all black. Tell them what's right is right. And on the back of that, tell them that it's not a matter of choice, but a matter of fact. The breeding grounds of carnage-eating, mentally shackled rats that hope to garner eaten by harming legions of other carnage-eating, mentally shackled rats. Now they simply practice and act. So when we call upon ourselves to bring the world ease, or keep turning blind eyes at 360 degrees. So yeah, that's how I get down. C Murder, Mr. Cow, Mr. Servon, Mia X, Fiend, Magic, Kane, and Abel, Snoop, to name a few. Come on now. I mean, I feel you. But then I mean, if you're gonna, there's a lot on Cash Money as well. Yeah, that's me. I still have his first album in rotation. He kind of fell off after the first one, made a mini comeback with that album he made with Be Real back in 2019. Appreciate you. The group was serial killers. I used to be a serial killer too. Lucky Charms, you know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just say, oh, Cash Money was like, Cash Money had a lot of people. I mean, the initial group of people, you had Wayne, you had Juvie, you had BG, you had Turk, like, and then of course you had Manny Fresh that was dropping everything. I mean, Baby couldn't rap, but you know what I'm saying? That was just their original, right? If you put out their original before they branched out and started signing people from other parts outside of the South, then yeah, you go on Cash Money all day. But Young Money was part of Cash Money. Young Money. Oh my God, the Key and P.O. Wayne skit. Young Money. I don't know, it's the time and the place. Original Cash Money. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's tough. No Limit had a lot of people though too, so I don't know. Yeah, it didn't fit. That's the thing. It didn't fit with No Limit. Yeah, especially now. I mean, um back when Cash Money first came out, it was cool. But now it's, I don't know what it is now. All right, I'm gonna have to roll out. Trick any day. What about Trick Daddy? Yeah. All right, y'all. It has been fun. This is the last show of the week. Of course, we will be back here on Monday night. It is a 7:00 start, so basically, it's the same time that the show would be on a Monday night, right? So we'll go ahead and make sure everybody stays locked in. Make sure y'all come through for the watch party. We will be here maybe a little bit before 7. If it's kickoff at 7, maybe we'll be here at like 6:30 or 6:45, something like that. I generally just try to drop in and get to the game. I don't like doing like a whole lot of prediction and pregame stuff because I've already done it. Like today, we did our predictions. We talked about it. We'll talk about who's out, who's in, and all that stuff. I've got to drop 2 more NFC North reports. I know it's week 7 already. I'm behind. I was gonna drop the Bears one last night, but I fell asleep. So it is, it is, but I'll drop it. All right, y'all. Let's see. All right, y'all. Once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we are out. Peace.